Hey guys, so another YouTuber called MamaMax is back, and he is pretty confident. You can see the CC here that he could sue Mutahar for more than $8 million, given what happened to Carl Jobs. Now, Carl Jobs and some ordinary gamers, Mutahar, are very, very much tied in destroying the completionist, whether or not you agree that the completionist should be destroyed. They took him down. They took Gerard down. He lost his lifelong partner. He lost his business, his YouTube channel, probably all semblances of friendship and respect in the gaming community that he enjoyed for so long. So here we have another individual who is maybe inspired by Carl Jobs' verdict to jump back in. So MamaMax has not made a video in a long time, ever since Mutahar essentially destroyed him. Again, MamaMax probably is not the most reliable individual. Clearly, he is very biased, and I do think he is a bit unstable. That's my personal take on the individual, that he is indeed unstable and kind of an unreliable narrator when he's very passionate or emotional about certain things. So why is he trying to sue, or why is he saying that he's contacted lawyers, and he has a screenshot of this, trying to sue some ordinary gamers, Mutahar, and perhaps other individuals as well? Well, Mutahar made multiple videos, very similar to how Carl Jobs made videos about Billy Mitchell about MamaMax, and these videos were very, very bad towards MamaMax. And one of the reasons MamaMax is probably no longer making any videos is due to Mutahar. It's one of these things when you send your army of people and they now just absolutely decimate you. You saw that with Carl Jobs and Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell's not really that popular on social media, so it was really easy to compare it to Carl Jobs, right, with the million followers. Now, am I defending? It's really hard to defend because the question is who is wrong, who's right. But the thing is, both people can be right and both people can be wrong. Here you have two individuals that some ordinary gamers. I used to be a huge fan of his during the completeness investigation. Then, some more news broke out, and it's just like about the whole defamation thing. So there was another YouTuber who made a video about Mutahar in a very negative way. There are a lot of interesting things about Mutahar happening today, and this kind of resembles Carl Jobs. When the more you dig, the more you find, and it's probably because they live stream. They probably talk so much, and Carl's in his Discord channel talking about effing over Billy Mitchell's son and going after family members, not listening to lawyers, and so on. The more you listen to Mutahar, it's obvious that he's not a legal expert at the very least. He doesn't even have an LLM from Canada. So you're dealing with two individuals who are, I'm talking about Carl, or authoritative, right? They are the definition of confident in terms of when they tell you something, they tell you in a way, it's kind of like pirate software, where he can be completely wrong about something, but the way he tells his audience, many of them who also do not have law degrees or the education to really think about, like, hey, is that right? Is that right? You go to the way that Carl Jobs has misled people on believing that the lawsuit was about cheating, and there's still people in his comment section who still do not know it's not about cheating. And the logic is very disturbing, I feel like, online. It's almost like, not to compare it to like other stuff, but there are times in history where you have a very charismatic leader and he's saying things that are obviously very wrong, even genocidal, and people just nod their heads as if this is correct, and it's not, right? No, this reminds, when you are very good at speaking to the audience, you can convince them of anything. And even though MamaMax, again, a unreliable narrative, like this is like the problem I have defending the completionist, is he's not a saint. What he did was wrong. But the person prosecuting him, could that person also be wrong? Is my question. So Mutahar here is... So MamaMax, I don't agree with MamaMax's tactics. I have watched Mutahar's videos where he's trying to bait the bigger influencers into covering the topic, and there is a benefit to him. He won't admit it. The benefit to him is then he grows his YouTube channel, right? The more people who cover it, and the more people who give him a shout out, the more likely his YouTube channel grows. So trust me, there is an obvious benefit and reason that he wants bigger content creators to cover this, including Some Ordinary Gamers, and to paint him as a good guy. So I think Mutahar was one of the first people to point that out, that there is personal incentive to grow your channel, get donations, you understand how the grift of YouTube works, right? Sponsorships and yada yada yada, right? At the same time, did Mutahar really do the best investigation he could have, given the nature of this investigation? The nature of this investigation is you have individuals claiming they were part of a cult and they were being abused. This is a very serious matter. Like, let me put it this way for you. Like, there are lawyers, and then there's lawyers that deal with this particular thing. So even the average lawyer does not have the expertise to really piece together this type of investigation. But somehow Mutahar, with no education in the law, does. And this is very concerning. Again, you look at the Carl Jobs versus Moon lawyer. Moon is a lawyer. He does not claim to be a charity lawyer. He does not claim to be a tax lawyer. A tax lawyer in the U.S., you would have to take another 2 years to study in addition to your law degree. I think there are a lot of people online making crazy claims, and they make it in such a way that it feels so confident. It's just easier to listen to them than research it on your own. I've always been a big proponent. I don't force feed you any of these things. I either read you the documents, I read you all the documents, and then for Logan Paul, anytime I can get my hands on a document, I read you the document. Then at the very end, I say, this is my opinion about it. But I at least let you read the document. I tell you where to download the document. If you want to pause the video, read the document yourself. You have that ability. I think at the end of the day, Mutahar, Carl Jobs, and there are other individuals, right? Let me make it very clear why they're doing this, and let me make it very clear why I'm doing this. Is to get views. Carl Jobs doesn't lie when he says it's all about the money, right? It's all about the money, right? But it's not always about the money for everybody. For me, I like the views. It's a hobby that keeps my brain active, and obviously, I like analytics. So I do want to get views and subscribers and so on. So I cover topics that I think will be more likely viewed. But they do have to be interesting to me for a little bit. So for me, it's no longer about the money. I'm retired. I do not need any more money. It is about an intellectual exercise, and then the verification of that intellectual exercise being getting more subscribers and viewers and so on. So I am a little bit, so I would recommend, you watch the segment of Mutahar from MamaMax. I think if MamaMax is correct, Mutahar has said that he would donate money, he would help with lawyers and so on, and it does not appear he's done that, at least according to MamaMax, and I'm sure if he has done it, he would have shown us that he did it, right? Being the charitable individual he is. I just feel like when you have the voices that Carl Jobs and Some Ordinary Gamers have, you have responsibility to be transparent with your viewers. Why are you making this video? Why aren't you making this video? And so on. So I do think MamaMax may be a bad actor. I don't know enough. I haven't watched enough of his stuff. But I would also say that Mutahar, in many cases, from a legal perspective, has been very uncareful in the words he uses. So there is the question of an NDA that he signed, but then, quote, violated. MamaMax is threatening to sue Mutahar for $1 million, or he believes that if sued, he can get $1 million based on the Carl Jobs verdict. And here is the retainer and fee. So at the very least, he's contacting lawyers, the retainer being $10,000. I'm pretty sure he didn't pay that. That seems like a lot of money for a retainer, but that's an average day of work for most lawyers, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Whose side are you on? If either side. Guys,